Good morning, beautiful world!
Or good afternoon, or wherever you are. Welcome back to this Thursday's edition. Is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday's edition of Two Chaps, Many Cultures. And I had to check the calendar because in Corona times, I really don't know what time of day or what day of the week it is anymore. So it is time for Two Chaps, Many Culture. My name's Christian, and over there on the other side, that's my big chap, Brett Parry from Australia, and he's wearing something that I find quite intriguing. He looks like he's ready to go on a parade. What are you doing there, sir?
Yes, indeed. This I actually wore this for a reason today because I got a very interesting question posed to me yesterday. We've been talking about coaching this week, and let me tell you the story about this shirt first. I love this shirt. This is actually one of my favorite shirts. I bought it.
I'm glad you're wearing one. I'm really
well. Yeah, I think everybody should be glad I'm wearing one. I bought this shirt in Krakow, Poland, right? In the main square of Krakow, Poland, in a store called Quicksilver. Of those who don't know the brand, it's a kind of a brand of kind of I guess more. I think people would think what surfing. Those kind of things.
It's been big in Europe for, I think, since the 1980s. I remember Quicksilver being a hot topic item. I don't know if it's still that hot, but it used to be like, oh, I got to get the Quicksilver.
Absolutely. And I saw this shirt and I thought it's kind of nice. You know what happens? I walk around with this thing and I see people doing double takes at me. It's like, because I've got these little things, got a badge on the arm, and it's got these, very important looking little tabs up here. And people have said to me, "Oh, are you a kind of a ranger or some kind of policeman?" And I'm not. I'm just a regular everyday guy, right? I don't have any particular qualifications to be any of those jobs. So yesterday I got a question from somebody, a friend of mine, who he said, "You do coaching?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "What are your qualifications?" And I said, "That's interesting. Apart from life and a few hard knocks, and maybe I'm certainly underestimating what my qualifications are. But I thought about formal qualifications, and yes, I'm certified to do certain things in this field that we do. But that is a valid question. Do you need to be certified to be a coach? So that's what we're going to address today. And and by the way, I'm not a policeman, so don't worry.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear that. I thought when I first saw you in that shirt, I thought you might be a Boy Scout or the Boy Scouts daddy. But apparently you're not. So no. Do I need to be certified to be a coach? What is your answer to that? What did you tell your friend?
I said that I think it depends on the relationship. If you're called to be a coach, like people are called to be soccer coaches, right? They go the nearest mum or dad, right? The mum or dad, they go, who's interested? They look around and they see a mum or dad that might want to be interested. Now, of course, I've got a background in football, the soccer, if I'm using those terms interchangeably. I grew up playing at a very young age. I also became a football referee to a fairly high level. I know the game intimately. I know that. Now, does that qualify me to be a coach? Do I need a qualification to be a coach? Well, I certainly needed a qualification to be a referee, but I don't need to be a qualification to be a soccer coach. I think that I could encourage, motivate, teach the skills of being a good soccer player to young children and be very effective at it. Of course, I added in those extra bits about the bigger aspects of life that I think sport brings, right? That's a whole other thing. And I don't think you particularly need to be certified in a particular style, framework, to be an effective coach. We've got books here. I've got a book here. This is called the Coactive Coaching Method. It's called the Bible of coaching guides.
Thanks for alarming me to this, because I could have brought all the other books from the shelf. So yeah, the
smart guy, the smart person in this relationship is the guy with all the books in the background. I've just got
which are, by the way, cooking books and here knowledge. This is just a facade. It's not a virtual background. It's actually a real book. So I could actually take one out there if I so chose. What is this? Yeah, no. So not for this program. Wrong book. But being called to be a soccer coach, I have a story about this. We did rehearsals. This just came up as you brought as you remembered your story.
Yeah.
My kids, I took my little girls to the soccer complex in a small town in East Tennessee, where I was surprised to find a soccer program for little kids. Yeah. And my kids were like 4, 5, 6 years old. So I took them there. And as we speak German with each other in public once in a while, the other parents at the soccer complex took note of that. And said, "Oh, what language do you guys speak?" I said, "German." "Oh, so you guys are from Germany?" He said, "Yes, we are." "Oh," and then they looked at me, all the dads, everybody looked at me and said, "So you're German?" I said, "Yeah, grew up there, born and raised." "Yeah, we're going to need more coaches, and that would be something we think you should be doing."
Right.
And I said, "I've never coached soccer in my entire life." And they said, "Yeah, but you're German, aren't you?" So I think my passport was the certification, right? So, but this is just joking aside. By the way, we won every game that season. I did become a coach for that U5 team. Now, do I need to be certified? The word that I would like to draw your attention to in that question is the word need. So need, in the way I am using language, need signals a lack, or it is pointing the spotlight on a scarcity. So there's something you don't have. So it's your choice whether you want to go about life from a scarcity mindset, because I need. Because if you feel that you need something, then that lack, that void of not having it, will haunt you. So it's your choice whether you want to have that emotion around the certification for a coach or not. I leave that up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. No coach will tell you what to do. I can only give you a suggestion. So my answer to is it required? Is it a requirement to have a coaching certification? These two chaps will tell you it's not a requirement, and I don't have a official coaching association body certification. Do I have coaching certifications? Yes, I do. They are a dime a dozen out there, and picking the right one, you'll have to do your research. Can you be a coach without being certified by anybody else? I certainly think so. So in our field, in Brett's and my field, we coach people to find their full potential in a new environment. Usually that includes being in a different culture, being a different behavioral framework. And since both Brett and I have lived or have been living through this reality ourselves for many, many years, that is our certification, if you will, right? That is what qualifies us to be, well, how would you say that? I wouldn't say certified. It qualifies us to give people guidance or give people impulses, how to redirect their energy and how to maybe adjust and modify their behaviors that lead to more success.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that growth, the mindset part of it, right? That the wording you tell yourself, what you tell yourself when you're approaching this question is probably as important as anything. The imposter syndrome comes up. It's a term that's thrown around pretty loosely in all kinds of situations, and I certainly will attest or admit that I have some of that. But I was encouraged also, very wonderfully encouraged by a lot of people in our field when I mean, I'd already been doing this work. I'd been coached to do it. Had some certifications to do it, but I was always kind of looking around me at the wonderful people that we still learn from that have been in the academic field, but we bring like as Christian says, we bring maybe a different perspective to it, with a business background and our own experiences in just day-to-day life, and also, but the ability to apply that and draw on our past experiences in actually the process of doing it, what we see has worked, and that doesn't always. I mean, again, we talked the other day. It doesn't always suit the client, and so then we should all be clear and realize when that is and when it isn't.
Now, however, I do want to be clear about this, because the question was, do I need to be certified? So I'm really nitpicking on that mindset of, is that a prerequisite that has to be there? And my answer tends to be, it doesn't have to be there. However, will it help you to become a better coach by being certified? I would argue it does, if it's the right one. And I do want to address this comment that came in by Camilla. She says she respects our professionalism, and she does think that a certification is very important. And I agree, Camilla. No fight there. However, I do still believe that you can start out to be a coach in your niche or in your field of expertise or in your field of experience without a certification to begin with. Would it help to develop better skills? Would it help to be educated about coaching frameworks and about strategies that you can and should use with specific clients? Most certainly. So Camilla, I hope we made that clear. We're not poo-pooing on coaching certifications per se. I was poo-pooing the word need, because it comes from this mindset of, without this, I can't. And this will keep you in not doing. This will keep you in thinking about maybe perhaps doing it sometimes. So you got to start somewhere. And as you do it, you will recognize that expanding your toolbox is great, because it makes you more versatile. And the same can be said of going into working in a foreign culture, working in a different behavioral framework. You do need to expand your toolbox. The tools that got you where you're now will not be the same tools you're going to use going forward. So you got to build on that. So that is true for any professional growth and any personal growth path that you're on. Alain here, Alain Lukaka, said he agrees that it's important if you want to coach at a higher level. Thank you. And Alain also said, I have to pull this up because I know Alain. UEFA BA Pro license, of course, my friend. So I gotta clarify this. Alain is my French friend with African roots, and yes, you guys are World Cup champions. All right, let's settle this here, Alain. Okay, thank you.
And was that because the coach was more qualified than the other coach of the other team? That
probably, I would agree. So I mean, the French team did very well, but we'll see who will be the next. So, I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
No.
So go ahead, Brett.
No, so this is great because I find that the process of coaching, being highly certified, I think that. I want to ask you a question, Chris, and maybe ask the audience here. Is there a potential to be over certified in a way? And the reason this came up recently with somebody sharing some information with me written by a doctor, right? It was written by a doctor, and the material, the subject matter seemed to me a little bit. It set off some alarms for me, and I did some research on the doctor. Now, this guy had been to medical school. He is a certified. He was a certified medical practitioner, but he's also using that certification to do what I think, and has been proven by pretty much the majority of the field that he's in, as debunked what he's. But he's using it in a very high profile way, his certification, to say, I'm a doctor, so you just have to trust me, right? Mm-hmm. But of course, the other doctors don't trust them. They don't know what they're talking about, because then, they're not, it kind of gets into conspiracy theory and all that kind of stuff. But of course, then you learn, then you see that the guy's got a website and he's actually selling, snake oil and all that kind of stuff so it could be, and I know Camilla's point is absolutely well taken. But there are people, this is a field that can have a pretty low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
If you're a coach, right? Everybody can call themselves a coach. I can, you can turn up as a German person. I can turn up with an English accent or an Australian accent and be presumed that we're good soccer coaches, and we can take advantage of that. Or we can say, you know what? Actually, no, I've never been a coach.
So it depends on what kind of qualification you want to flaunt, and if people flaunt some random certificate in order to prove that they're qualified to do something else, then that would be misleading. Now, I would argue, and my wife is watching, so I'm in full disclosure, even though it's a different spelling, but she's singing our praises, so I'm bringing that up, obviously. Thanks, honey. Now, as I'm peeking over the banner here, I think it is quite.
I like.
I don't think you can be overqualified for that. I think it really depends on your client. I have a client who is.
I just want to clarify that. I wouldn't say overqualified, but I'm being wary of somebody who says I'm qualified just because I've got the certification. That
right,
kind of
right.
Sorry if I misunderstood what
have we all seen teachers who graduated magna cum laude from their alma mater and they're just lousy teachers? So the certification is an important seal of approval. It doesn't necessarily make you a terrific coach. And I've seen in the soccer field, I have seen coaches who were the best in the soccer coaching academy, which there is such a thing in Germany, I know, yet they never won a title. So what I'm trying to say is if you have a lot of subject matter expertise, a lot of IQ in your field or fields, plural maybe, then that may be a really good card to play if you're dealing with a coaching client that is, like you, a knowledge-driven individual. I currently work with a client and I mentioned this person before on our program. He leads a chemical lab, and he's very cerebral, a PhD in his field, and worked in academia and worked in research labs, and he's up there. So I can't compete with him in his area of expertise, and that's not my job. My job is to work with him on improving his behavioral flexibility. Now, did it help in building rapport with my coachee to show him what my qualifications were and what my life and work experience has been? Most certainly, because that guy would have never taken me serious if I hadn't done that. So yes, having certifications, no matter what they are, will with certain clients lead to a trust that you otherwise won't be able to build, because you can show that you're communicating not this way, boats passing in the night, that you actually have some kind of peer level relationship. Right?
Absolutely. And I think it's a matter of personal development to go through a certification of some sort, go through a learning process that allows you to, I guess, and it makes it easier. I mean, I think if you've got a certification, like this book here, this is a coactive method. This is a method. It is a framework that can basically make the coaching experience more formalized without being structured. Of course, we're not putting people in a bubble here, but at least give a process that is an approved and effective process. So I find it that I need to know what that is. I need to be able to learn these frameworks. There's many out there, so you can, as Christian said, there's certifications that cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's one way to go. There's others that'll not, and there's others that are free. So you want to be careful of those. You get what you pay for. But I certainly think that again, I'm glad that I really did. Christian made me think about the question, and the question was specifically termed, do I just need this, right? It's like asking a policeman, do I really need a license to drive? Well, yes, you've got, but the license, I would figure that not everybody who's got a license to drive can drive, right? that's a thing.
Exactly. And I do want to bring up, and sure, this is nepotism and all, and I'm biased, but I want to bring up my wife's comment, mainly A, because she's my wife, and B, because Camilla also said that There is no button to like other posts, but Brigitte expressed it perfectly. So this is what Brigitte is saying here. There's business coaches, life coaches, abundance coaches, and oftentimes they don't have a life. So it's easy to call yourself something and pose as something that is the word du jour or de semaine, because coaching is our word de semaine. But it doesn't necessarily make you a great coach. I think, bottom line, and this is very utilitarian, whoever he or she who shows results is a good coach, with or without certification. Is the likelihood of getting results higher with a coaching certification? Probably it is. However, will you find coaches that are very successful with their clients who don't have an ICF or whatever certification? You probably will. So here's another quote from my wife here. If one becomes a coach for making money, they're in the wrong business. Too many people think it's a get rich quick scheme. Oh, I'll call myself a coach. And that's the people that give our field a bad rep. Patricia, our friend Patricia in Florida, says coaching certification is like first aid certification. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So excellent. Thank you all for weighing in here. So it appears like this is a field that many of you are passionate about and have views on, and there's some dialogue around this. I'm happy to hear this. One more thing that my wife is saying, the word coach is highly overused these days, just like pivot. Yeah. So we're not going to pivot to the commercial break now. No.
What a twist.
Actually, there's a book behind me by that title. I'm trying to cover it. So.
It's called Pivot.
Yes.
You need the props. You need to put these up. Well, this is great. What a great topic. I mean, this looks like we always knew this was going to happen. Certain topics would bring up a great deal of more engagement. So if you're watching the replay, add your comments. We will always see them. We will always get notifications of your comments and your thoughts about the need or the requirement or the wonderful benefits of being certified and in this field, and either related to intercultural field or not.
I just want to close off with letting Allah know that we need to figure out who's going to be the next World Cup champion, and it's not going to be France, my friend Allah. So I'm just putting that out there right now. So.
This is the beauty about all the people we know, that have these. I mean, what is your alliance, right? National alliance. My daughter, being tricultural, will sit in front of the TV in the Olympics, and if the Poland are going well, she's cheering for Poland. Well, she can also cheer for Australia and the US. It's like great. So
when it comes to soccer, I would hope she roots for Poland because they'll beat the US and Australia easily.
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. Or I was in Poland once, and I was in Poland once, and the Australian team just happened to be playing in Krakow, and they played a friendly. So I went to Australia versus Poland, and Australia won. And I had a big kangaroo on my shirt.
Did you say it was a friendly?
It was a friendly.
Yeah. Who cares?
Lewandowski was there. He was there. He was playing.
All right, Socceroos. So this was a great episode. Two Chaps, Many Cultures. We'll talk a little bit more about coaching tomorrow on our Friday episode, and be ready to welcome some guests on this program in the very near future. It might be tomorrow, it might be next week, it might be both. You'll be surprised to see. If you feel like you will be the perfect guest to be on this program, and if you are as chappy as we are, or as chatty as we are, then you might qualify. So ping us. Hang on, let me put the right banner up, because you need to know how to find us. This is how you do it. So apply. Send in your coaching application to us.
Yes, come to the mountain. No, it's nothing like that. We are looking for lead. We are looking for inspiration. We are looking for coaches to coach us, to bring us, challenge us That
Right.
is basically what we're asking, right? That's why we do this. We're certainly not the experts, and we are looking for we're trying to tap the knowledge of the audience of a community here, and I guess this is building into a community, which is always good fun. Always good.
All
fun.
right.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday to every one of you. This is Two Chaps, Many Cultures. See you tomorrow.
Bye.